That monster attack that Ukraine had unleashed on Russia a few days ago involving drones and trucks is as bad as Ukraine says it was. Unlike what the Russians are saying, and Ukraine came with receipts. Because on the first day, when they said that we hit, not destroyed 41, but hit 41 Russian aircraft, they uploaded a video. Now, we know that all of those drones had videos. We also know that the SBU, they were going through all of those videos and photos to gather evidence and put it together. Ukraine was smart because they knew that if we did this, Russia would say it never happened. So they put that first video online, knowing that later on down the line, they would introduce new videos and things to show that, yeah, we did hit this, we did hit that, we did hit this. And so when Ukraine said 41, Russia says you damaged some. Then it was 11, then 12, then 14. Today, Ukraine has now launched another, let's say, slew of video files showcasing all the aircraft they hit. Now, this is not all of the video. There are more videos out there. But today they gave us 4 minutes of video, and I want to go over it. I want to go over the aircraft. I want to go over the type. I want to go over these. A lot of people asked about missiles and whether the tires did anything or if some of the aircraft were actually functional. And so I figured, let's go over this together. Yes, I'm not feeling good today. So I am doing a lot more on my Substack. So if you haven't signed up for my Substack, it's a free newsletter giving written form of everything I cover. Plus on days like today, I can write more on. That is the link in my bio, so you can check that out. That being said, let's go ahead and start watching the video. There's a few different aircraft we're going to see here. I'm going to pause things from time to time so you can point things out here. When they were planning to go through and attack these aircraft, at least in this video here, we know that there was really 3 main aircraft they were going after. Funny enough, they did hit a 4th one that I don't think was anyone's bingo card. And so you had the Tu-95, a massive bomber. Russia uses them. The Tu-22, different variations, newer ones that they use. They also Frankenstein some of the other ones. You'll see a lot of that being the theme of Russia, that they Frankenstein some of their older equipment into newer stuff. The A-50, something that Russia only had a handful to begin with when they started their war. Ukraine destroyed 2 of them, and they have a fleet of, let's just call them shells, because they've been taking from all these 8 to 10 different A-50s that aren't flyable anymore and putting them into the ones that are currently operational. And that's something to keep in mind as we're going through the different videos. And then here, the Antonov AN-12. This is a cargo plane. I'm really confused on why this was even hit to begin with, but you'll see in the video as we kind of roll through things. So you'll notice here all these different tires. The reason why these tires are here is because Russia thought that Ukraine was going to use AI to do different attacks. And they figured by putting the tires on there, it would confuse the aircraft for not hitting it. Now, Ukraine used 112 drones in this attack with an operator for each drone. So clearly that did not work. And prior to this, Ukraine was teaching their drone pilots where to hit these aircraft for maximum damage, mostly on the wing, right at the top part, to where it snaps off and becomes unusable. And when Ukraine hit this stuff, in photos that we saw later, they not only destroyed a lot of these things, but they burnt them down to the ground so you can't reuse the good parts on it. So here you're looking at them going after a Tu-95, and it will land right on the top and corner. Now, these are different aircraft. You'll see some videos, they'll get to the point to where they'll go underneath and hit things. They're aiming for that main wing, that left wing or right. There's another aircraft. Now, here's the thing. Even though there was 41 that were damaged, 117 drones, which means maybe it's possible some of these maybe didn't hit their target. Maybe they lost connectivity. That one lost its whole wing. That came off. So it's possible some of these drones didn't hit targets because maybe they lost connectivity and they hit something next to it, still causing damage to aircraft. But you can see they're all aiming for the wing on these Tu-95s. And these things look like they were pretty much ready to fly. So we're going to keep going through these videos. It's about 4 minutes long. Oh, right there. Look at this. Okay. A few things to point out here. you could see there's a different couple spots where these drones are going to wind up hitting right on top. Just got to give you a photo of what we're comparing with the Tu-22s. They got these giant engines going in through here. So if you blast a hole through the top, it's pretty much cutting this aircraft in half, making it unusable. And so as they're going through these attacks, you're going to see right where they land, right in that middle section where it's the weakest point, where the damage is going to cause it to crash. See this one doing the same thing, going right up to that middle part. There's another one here. In this video, by the way, there's 22 different aircraft we see get damaged, which, once again, not all the videos, and we don't know if they're comparable to the... Oh, we're here. Look at this. Ready? Yes, that's... Antonov 10. It's kind of strange to see them attack a cargo plane, but clearly Russia was using it. They wouldn't have wasted all the tires on aircraft they're not going to use. Not going to fly anymore, that one. You can see a whole line of destruction going all the way down. It's quite incredible to see. And here it is. Okay, so there's a few things I want to point out here, because the Russian military bloggers are saying, okay, well, these aren't flyable. These aren't flyable at all. You could see they're rusted, they're falling apart. They're clearly not using these. And then some of the other videos say, well, you know, you can't even see engines on these. There's an engine missing here and here. And okay, yeah, so look at this bracket. And we're going to go back. It's the brackets for these engines here and here. Clearly, yes, they don't have them on here. But this was an aircraft that Russia deemed as something they needed to keep safe, which is why they put so many tires on top of it. And this is going to go on the top of this dome and destroy this one. And then there's another video in which we see another drone destroy another A-50. Clearly, there was parts in here that Russia wanted to use. And that's why they had kept it separated from the other ones. Because the other ones stacked on top of each other is about like 8 of them in a row. But boom, they'll do this. And you can't, it's no use for this anymore. And this is a different one with padding on top. Once again, Russia's doing whatever they can to keep those aircraft flying, and they need to put the tires on. Here's another, man. It's kind of crazy to see them going after. Look at that. Like, I want to pause it for a second there and show you what they did. Just shows you how much Russia really needed to keep these safe. Not only put tires on top of them, they put these cage-looking things. Very bizarre. And some people are saying, well, you know, Joey, they're doing this, and clearly that means they're not flying them. These were at an air base extremely far away, in which Russia was keeping as like, well, were you letting those ones run on the other side, on the far west side? Here we got these ones. We keep these safe as our backups. These are operational. These ones had engines and things on them and parts that were needed for the Russian military. Now they're gone. It's another aircraft. Here's another one. You can see, I do want to pause that for a second here, because some of the Russian bots are saying, well, yeah, some of them didn't make their targets. We know they didn't. Look in the back here. But still, once again, 40-something odd pilots did. Going into this one. The question is, did that Great save that plane? It's probably still got damage on it. But I mean, once again, I know you can make the argument that some of these were not. This one was operational, clearly. You can make an argument that some of these were not. But there are still parts on here that Russia was saving to use. That one was operating. You could tell the differences between them. You could see them. They're also just kind of sitting out. And the crazy part is, as Ukraine's doing this, do you notice how no one's shooting them down? There was absolutely no air defense systems over there, and that's another key point of these videos. Russia now knows that Ukraine can do this. They're going to have to move air defense systems all the way over there. Look at this destruction. Look at all these fires. Look at that. All the fire in the background. Wow. Here's another one. Look at the fires. They hit a lot. The amount of planning that had to go into this attack is just another. Look at that. Wow. There was almost too many targets to go after. It's like you needed 100 and something drones just for this one. And this one here almost looks like it... It doesn't look like it's got missiles on it. Yes. There's missiles here. 1 second. Yeah, I think we're seeing... 1 second. It looks like this had actual missiles on board. Here and here. And it sat right on the wing before going off. Wow. The footage really does show a lot here. Wow, look at this destruction of that aircraft. Another transport plane down below. Just look at the destruction. I mean, you see at least 3 aircraft on fire. 1, 2, 3. That one's gone. Oh. All right. So that is our video assessment. I mean, clearly Ukraine has shown that Russia has a lot of vulnerabilities. They don't have air defense systems in areas that they probably should. I don't think Russia expected Ukraine to do that. Now we kind of run into an issue where Russia's going to respond. How are they going to respond? Is it going to be the Orshnik? Is it going to be something worse? Is it just going to be a night of 1,000 drones? When that happens, it is going to be bad. Donald Trump had a meeting with Vladimir Putin today, and in a truth that he put online and then deleted, he said a few things, but really it's only one important thing when it comes to Ukraine. You know, they spoke for an hour and 15 minutes. They talked about the attack. He said it was a good conversation, but not a conversation which will lead to immediate peace. Putin did say very strongly that he will respond to the recent attack on the airfields. So, once again, we don't know what that response is going to be. It could be really bad, or maybe Putin is just straight up lying again because he doesn't know what to do. We do know that, according at least to his deputy foreign minister, he was making phone calls to other world leaders to try to say to them, hey, could you get Ukraine to stop escalating the war? And today, Vladimir Putin also pretty much has said that Ukraine are terrorists now for what they're doing, saying that on May 31st, there were 2 bridges that collapsed, and Ukraine did that, and civilians got hurt and died, and they're terrorists. Why would we have peace negotiations with terrorists, even though at the same time, Russia had launched roughly about 478 drones into Ukraine with cruise missiles and all that jazz. So that's where it leads us. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I know my voice is shot. I need to take some time off, but I appreciate you guys. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, turn on notifications, give this video a thumbs up. I'm Joey. Stay safe.